Hey, everybody, welcome to Game Day View, presented by Mercedes-Benz. Patrick Claybon back here with Greg Rosenthal and Cynthia Freeland to welcome this guy back to the United States of America. Well, you're back, Greg. We're glad to have you.
I'm home, and I'm just ready to
Are you jet lagged?
Get to what's next. I am a little jet lagged, but I think that helped out my picks last week.
Okay, being on a plane, it's good for the brain. In fact, let's check out the picks standings as of right now.
Let's go!
Week 6, Greg Rosenthal goes 14-0. Cynthia and I come up with 12-2. So it's not just a welcome back.
Ready?
What do you mean, what is this, Greg?
What is this? What do you think it is?
We've got props.
Yeah, we got
Okay,
props.
ready? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, my God.
14-0!
That is amazing.
We've gone multiple seasons
Bring it to me.
Somebody going 14-0 or just undefeated on an entire slate. Greg Rosenthal does it.
You did it.
Speech.
Thank you. I just
Speech.
want to thank all the favorites that came through with me and not taking many chances. I also want to thank our producers for not finding the last time someone went undefeated, because it was me. It was like 3 years ago, but I think it was me, 3 or 4 years.
I don't even remember it.
Yeah, well, I do.
Whatever.
I do.
I'm sure you're right.
If you need somebody to victory lap something from multiple years ago,
That's me.
here's the guy. Speaking of confetti, we got a Super Bowl 58 rematch between the Chiefs and the Niners. And time now for Active Mike, presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card.
This is our moment. Go out there and take that. Every single snap, everything you got for the guy beside you, and we're going to find a way to get a win.
Mahomes fakes a handoff. Now sprint out action to the left side. He's throwing on a throwback throw into coverage. Coming near side, caught. It's caught by Hardman, and he's down to the 9 of San Francisco.
Now they're going to motion out right, low snap. Mahomes back. Mahomes throws for the end zone. Incomplete.
Kick the field goal.
Butker's kick is perfect. This game is tied at 19-19, and we are headed to overtime.
All right.
4th and 1. This play is gigantic.
Slide keys. I like slide keys a lot. If it's not there, I'll run for it.
All right, slide keys.
Shut.
Run pass option. Mahomes keeps it. Slides to a stop. Mahomes is going to run at 30-yard line. 25-20. Mahomes inside the 15. Shades of Super Bowl 57. 13 seconds to go in the overtime. Play action fake. Right side touchdown!
The Chiefs have won! The Chiefs have won! Their 3rd Super Bowl in 5 years!
Patrick, great going, man. Appreciate you. That was awesome, huh? Vegas did it right. Vegas did it right. Legendary, man. I can't say anything. I want to get 3, though.
Well, Patrick Mahomes has those rings now. He's got 2 of them against Kyle Shanahan. We're getting a Chiefs 49ers rematch on Sunday. KC is 5-0. Do the Niners end their win streak, Cynthia?
Nope. I still have a Kansas City win in this one, 25-23, which is exactly the same that I projected for their last Super Bowl matchup, which is wild to me. But I want to talk about Travis Kelce in this matchup. Something really interesting that's going on this season. Usually you think Niners, you think Yak. Well, the actual what's going on this year is that now it's Patrick Mahomes plus Yak, and Brock Purdy doesn't do the yak, right? He's the least percentage of yak, whereas Patrick Mahomes has the most. So you're telling me that you don't have an advantage here with 87 in space? Because I think now that we've seen all of these different formations using multiple tight ends, this is another area, another key area where they're going to have mismatches with Travis Kelce and be able to take advantage of it. Andy Reid coming off a bye, am I right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I've been wrong about the Chiefs all season long. I've been picking against them. This time, I'm not going against them again. They get the win in Santa Clara this week. And the reason why they're going to be doing some more confetti this week is Chris Jones. Look, Chris Jones is the biggest reason maybe they won that Super Bowl. He's a big reason why they won that game against the 49ers. If you remember a couple seasons ago in the regular season, had a big performance there. He is 2nd in the NFL in pressures from defensive tackles. He is 2nd in quick pressures. So these are quality pressures where there's basically no chance for the quarterback to get out of the way. Brock Purdy is excellent evading pressure and making plays. But ultimately, I think the Chiefs are getting better and better offensively, and the 49ers defense not as good as they were in previous years.
Yeah, better and better offensively. You guys got 25 and 27 points for the Chiefs, and I'm glad you do, because the games where they've scored in the high 20s have been against 3 teams in the bottom 10 in terms of total scoring defense. So I'm going to take the 49ers in this one in a revenge game, and I'm not necessarily picking it just for revenge purposes, because I'm looking at how the Chiefs have managed to score, like scoring against against the New Orleans Saints. They did that with 4 tight ends on the field sometimes. If you count Juju Smith-Schuster in that, which I do, then I'll go ahead and make it 5 tight ends.
Rude.
And Fred Warner playing really good right now. Fred Warner on a Hall of Fame track in a defensive MVP type track season in terms of fumbles forced. He's allowed 5 receptions for just 45 yards while also picking off 2 passes and defending 2 other passes on 9 targets this season. I think you want to run out a host of tight ends against the 49ers defense. That might be the spot. Despite the fall off, which I do agree, the 49ers can get the advantage. So yeah, I'll take the Straybon on this one for the home defending NFC champions. From the undefeated Chiefs to the undefeated Vikings, Minnesota going to have their hands full Sunday because Cynthia's Lions are coming to town.
Ugh. 5 up, 5 down.
This is the tightest this group has been.
That's just the beginning. That's just the beginning, man. Our head coach is our rock now. Game ball.
Picked off and is loose.
We don't take no prisoners, man.
The Jets have absolutely no answer for this defense right now.
Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to throw it back to Goff. David Montgomery running through contact and finding the house. A 97-yard touchdown. How about a little razzle-dazzle?
Yeah, kick ass, Luke.
Lions, Vikings, the 2 top teams in the NFC North, one of the best divisions in football. Minnesota at 5-0 with Detroit just a game behind. Who wins it, Greg?
I am going with Cynthia's Lions, 28-27 in an upset. You know, you think about Jared Goff and you think, okay, he's going to struggle a little bit against the blitz. He's not great against pressure. How about how he handled Brian Flores in this Vikings defense a year ago? In 2 matchups, he was over 70% completions, 3 touchdowns, no picks, almost 300 yards per game. They put up 30 in both of those games. I say they win 28-27. Yeah, he's the more trustworthy quarterback in this game. Sam Darnold, everyone, MVP. Like the last couple of weeks, he's been taking on a little struggles. I'll just put it that way. And I know Detroit's not going to be as good up front without Aiden Hutchinson, but I think this is an offensive game, and I'm taking the quarterback that I trust more. It's Jared Goff on the road against the Vikings.
I very much considered asking for like the ASPCA commercial where the puppies are looking sad because that's how I feel about losing Aiden Hutchinson. But I'm not going to be sad because my model picked the Lions, 24-23. It is kind of my personal nightmare. However, I think that the run game here is the real reason why the Lions are able to pull this off. I'm going to show you some David Montgomery, who has one of the longest touchdown streaks, as in he's tied with Kyron Williams for the longest touchdown streak currently. But when I'm looking at his ability to break tackles, to get yards after contact, and Jahmyr Gibbs, the 200 monster in the run game with this O-line, that helps Kate take more ball control and keep it on the side of the Lions, and helps to somewhat ease a little bit of the pain of losing Aiden Hutchinson. No ASPCA commercial for me. We're going to be happy little Lions, and we're going to win 1 point. 24-23.
Well, I'll go ahead and take the home team again on another Straybon and take the Minnesota Vikings here. A considerable difference in terms of the total score. I think this is going to be a lower scoring game, but the player that I do think scores and the player that has traditionally had a lot of success against the Detroit Lions, arguably one of the best players in the entire NFL. Justin Jefferson has played 8 games against Detroit in his career. He has 1,073 receiving yards at 134 yards a game and 4 touchdowns. The Hutch injury, as Cynthia pointed out, is about as depressing as it can get for a Super Bowl contender. But I agree with Greg. Jared Goff wins the quarterback matchups, but you got to bother Sam. And I don't know how much McNeil and company can bother Sam in this one. I think the Minnesota Vikings win it in a close one. We go from a game with 2 veteran quarterbacks to one featuring 2 up-and-comers, Drake May and Trevor Lawrence. Let's get ready for a great London finale.
Let's go.
Ready for that. He sits in there, pressure, and throws a perfect strike. Trevor fires back in the end zone. That ball is caught. Touchdown. How good is that? Let's go.
This Sunday live from Wembley Stadium in London. Watch as the Patriots face off against the Jags. Rise, shine, and watch Sunday 9:30 a.m. Eastern only on NFL Network and streaming on NFL Plus. Subscription is required for NFL Plus. Let's discuss that game. This one in Wembley Stadium. Drake May gets his second career start. Both teams looking to turn things around. Who gets on a plane in a happy mood on Sunday?
Okay, two people do. Well, two organizations. One for the Jaguars. They're going to win this game 23-20. Okay. But also Drake May fans, Drake May fantasy owners. Everywhere I went in London last week, just people coming up to me saying, are we really going to get to see Drake May live? Yes, you are at Wembley Stadium. Look at the big plays he threw up there last week against a much tougher defense, the Houston Texans. Drake May showed he can get to his second, his third read. The accuracy, not always consistent, but the excitement in terms of his running ability, make plays outside the pocket, but also make some plays where, like I said, he went through his reads. Very next level. I thought he was a better prospect than Jaden Daniels. We'll see if that works out over time. But I do think he showed enough to believe that when he plays a bad defense like the Jaguars, he's going to put up some touchdowns. He's going to put up some entertainment for the fans in London and on NFL Network.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, love that. I'm taking, for some reason, despite getting absolutely steamrolled by them the entire season, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, in this one, I have a 20-18 win for Jacksonville. After doing it last week, for some reason, I'm out here again because for the second week in a row, Trev played pretty well. Trev was playing great at the quarterback position, just like he did against the Indianapolis Colts. One place he's really throwing the ball well is outside the numbers where his passer rating is over 101. All that has to happen is the Jags receivers actually catch the ball. I guess they'll do better. There's nowhere to go but up in terms of that. I think they get the win, Cynthia.
Well, I, too, will make it we have a meme alert here because I also have the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We're not confident.
18. Clearly don't.
We have the Patriots covering. We love you, too, all three of us.
Exactly. It's clearly a huge deal. Anyways, when I'm looking at this matchup, it really is Tank Bigsby that makes me kind of pushed over the edge on this. Why? Well, he has 143 yards after contact. That is a big deal. You are watching it right here. He was tackled maybe twice or maybe 1.5 times there, and he ends up in the end zone. Well, this defense he's going up against in the Patriots, they've allowed the third most, 131 yards, 2 such runs. So for me, a little bit more stability in the run game. That kind of helps with some of the weirdness we've seen from either quarterback. I feel more confident about this ability to run as I do the other side, and so there's the confetti's coming for me. I can see what's going on here.
It's coming for the Patriots fans. This is there. Take the meme alert at that point if we're all on the wrong side of this one.
Patriots fans used to different confetti. This is just. This is better. This is my undefeated week confetti. Okay. I'm going to take it home.
Again, yeah. Go Jags at this point. We're just getting started here on Game Day View. When we come back, C.J. Stroud and the Texans stacking up wins. To continue stacking, they'll have to do it on the road against Love in Lambeau. Which star shines the brightest? We'll try to tell you after this quick break.
NFL Game Day View is presented by Mercedes-Benz. Luxury SUVs now come with the luxury of choice. Mercedes-Benz has gas, electric, and plug-in hybrid offerings. Learn more at MBUSA.com.
Here's the snap to Jordan Love. Fires right side, got his man, leaping end zone, touchdown! Romeo Doubs, and they embrace him in the right corner of the end zone. Doubs now deployed a motion to the right side, snap to Love. Under pressure, Love looks, heaves it down the right side, making the adjustment, catching it as down, tiptoes into the end zone, a sensational touchdown! A desperation throw, Jordan Love to his good buddy.
Oh, good buddy. Touchdowns and group hugs. It's time for the Drive to Excellence presented by Mercedes-Benz. The Texans and the Packers at Lambeau. Stroud versus Love. Two of the best young quarterbacks in the game. And I'll start this one off, guys, because I'm taking the Green Bay Packers in this one, 26-23. As the offense is now back with its starting quarterback for multiple weeks. And the play caller, Matt LaFleur, is in his bag all season calling plays. Let's just watch some of this screen game work. Got Tucker Kraft going down the sideline, rush coming in, ball coming out, more Tucker Kraft underneath. They get Melton as well as Josh Jacobs involved in the screen. And by the way, Jordan Love, plus 48 on EPA on play action passes since becoming a starter. Top 5 in the league in that. It also helps that he's had his head coach the whole time. I got the Packers.
I have the Packers as well in this game, and I'm going to talk about something that they don't usually tell you about on television.
What is
it's
that?
the Packers' defense. Yes, this side of the ball matters too, and it's not just Xavier McKinney. A couple things I noticed with them lately. Obviously, they're turning the ball over a lot. The pass rush, not consistent, but you're watching 2 rookies who have stepped up. Edgerrin Cooper at linebacker and Evan Williams at safety. Here's what good coaching staffs do. They evolve over the course of the season. These 2 rookies getting more and more playing time as the season wears on. I think Cooper's turned out to be their best linebacker, a position where they need some help. They have a couple young safeties out there. Evan Williams was fantastic last week. So it's a young group at certain spots. They're still figuring out where they are at their best, but I think they're going to get better and better as they get more used to this defense. And it's playing against a Texans offense that CJ Stroud is great, but it's not always cohesive. I like the Packers to win this game 27-20. They cover that 3-point number. Let's go.
Whoa. So you have a field goal. You have a touchdown. I have the upset. I think Houston wins this one. Prime number. 25-24. Why? Because now we've seen that Joe Mixon is back, baby. And when he's in the game, things make a big difference for what CJ Stroud and this offense can do. Would I feel better if Nico Collins were there? Heck yeah, I would. But I still think that the opportunity that they have with Mixon, and of course when he's healthy, he's had over 100 rushing yards and a touchdown in each one of those starts, which is helpful. But also it's just those early downs, keeping CJ Stroud ahead of the chains. Now defenses are really starting to come up with game plans for CJ Stroud specifically. So he's ready to take it to the next level of quarterbacking, which is he'll have to adapt. And I think that this is a game where you'll start to see that adapting happen.
Well, he and his Texans have won 3 straight going into Sunday's matchup against the Packers, but you guys know who's won 4 straight games? That would be the defending MVP and the Baltimore Ravens since the Week 2 upset somehow by Gardner Minshew and the Raiders. Lamar and company have knocked off the Cowboys, Bills, Bengals, and Commanders on their way to first place in the AFC North. Jackson has 10 total touchdowns. Only 1 interception came on a tip ball last week against Washington. Now the Ravens go down to Tampa for Monday night. Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield, 2 MVP candidates, Greg.
Oh, my God.
He hates when I say that.
Yeah.
Tampa put up a 50-burger against the Saints. Can they score enough to beat Baltimore?
No. I mean, we can recognize Baker Mayfield is fine without just calling people MVP candidates for no reason. Lamar's the real MVP candidate in this game. 34-27, the Ravens win in a shootout. You want to know why Patrick's in such a good mood every week? It's because his guy, Lamar Jackson, is getting supported by great wide receivers like Zay Flowers. Heck, this week, Troy Aikman was on the radio clowning the Cowboys receiver, saying what a good job they did. He said they should be better route runners like the Ravens wide receivers. Yes, Zay Flowers has taken a huge step from year 1 to year 2. He reminds me a little bit of Jaden Reed in Green Bay in that you don't see them as a traditional number 1 receiver, and yet they're building a passing game that starts with Zay Flowers. He gets open deep. He gets open in the intermediate area. He is really sharp, and he busts out when they snap the ball. He is so quick off the line of scrimmage. He gets open so quickly that Lamar Jackson is seeing open receivers. It's not just Flowers. It's also Rashad Bateman, the best offense in the league by far. The Buccaneers cannot stop them.
Yeah, it's going to be I think there will be a lot of points in this game. I've got Baltimore winning 27-25 just by a pair because, yes, Baker Mayfield does lead the NFL in touchdown passes right now with 15, Greg. We'll see if that continues. But I just want to shout out one of those receivers for the Baltimore Ravens. It's Rashad Bateman.
Yes.
Oddly enough, having a solid season in terms of the way things have gone. The much maligned Rashad Bateman. Other than the loss to the Raiders, he's had 4 average yards of separation in every single game. He caught every single one of his targets against the Bills and the Commanders. A lot of stars to deal with on the Ravens, and Rashad is right now easing into his role. I got them by a pair on Monday, Cynthia.
Well, I have a much closer game forecast in this one. I have Baltimore winning, but just by 1 point, 25-24, because of that MVP candidate, Baker Mayfield, who I clearly love and who clearly loves me very much. My relationship with him is much like his relationship with the game last week, as he started off pretty poorly with 3 picks to start the game, but things ended up coming around.
Okay.
I mean, Baker just put up some numbers.
Yeah, Greg.
Yeah, Greg. So ultimately, when I'm looking at the opportunity for this team in general, that was like a bounce pass. Hey, listen, it's a bounce pass. You've never seen a bounce pass before? Come on, you watch basketball.
Look at the work that he did on this pass to Sean.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. But hey, look, this is an offense that's finding solutions. They're finding solutions in the run game. And you know what? Baker Mayfield, the MVP candidate, is absolutely making sure that this happens. The look you just gave me, sheesh.
I mean, we don't have to do this.
If we will this into existence, Greg will hate us forever.
It's like, it's fine. You can just say he's good. He's good. He's better than he was.
Coming up, the Aaron Rodgers, Davante Adams bromance is back, baby. Will they pick up right where they left off and save the Jets season? We got a huge matchup Sunday night in Pittsburgh. Who's going to win? The universe decides, but we'll tell you what we think next.
Want to know who's dominating on defense? Just ask Siri. Who leads the league in tackles?
We're back on Game Day View. The Jets made a splash earlier in the week, trading for Davante Adams. The move reunites Adams with his old pal Aaron Rodgers. The duo played together in Green Bay from 2014 to 2021. Connected for 68 touchdowns. Here's what Adams and Rodgers had to say about the trade.
It's been a roller coaster for sure. It's a weird thing to say, that I'm happy, but obviously it was time for a change, and this whole thing kind of transpired a little weird, but it's at the end of the day, we in a better place. I think that Raiders are in a better place as well, and everybody's got to move on.
Looks like he's drinking the elixir from the fountain of youth. As I watched some of his clips, we went back and watched some old 2014 stuff when he was a rookie, and I lovingly call him Fat Tay because he was over 220. Then he got real serious about his diet and his health and got down to under 210, and speed came back and became the dynamic player that he is today. So it's been a strange 24 hours, but really fun to see my friend.
That training camp trip to get to the Fountain of Youth paying off for the Jets as they got the Steelers Sunday night. Gang Green clearly pushing all their chips to the middle of the table. Steelers still haven't officially announced their starting quarterback as of the time we're doing this. Interested to know if that decision plays a role in your pick, Greg.
A little one, yes. I would trust Justin Fields more than Russell Wilson. I don't think it's a smart decision. I expect it to be Russell Wilson. But either way, I'm taking the Jets to win this game 21-17. There's nothing better than adding a Hall of Famer in the middle of your season. Well, I guess you could have done it before the season started. That would have been nice. He probably was available then.
You got to fire your coach first.
Yeah, but here's what I know about Davante Adams. He's still a top 10 receiver. If you want a little litmus test to see who's phoning in their job as an analyst, it's the people that are saying, Davante Adams is on the decline and he's past his prime and you're just adding an old, aging wide receiver. He's still a top 10 guy. He's still getting wide open. He's still one of the best receivers at the catch point. Him and Garrett Wilson are one of the best 1-2 receiver combinations in the league. I think it's a mismatch against this Steelers secondary. 21-17. Let's go Jets. I can't believe I just said that.
Okay, well, I also say let's go Jets, 21-20, a little bit closer for me. Why? Because I'm looking at this change to probably Russell Wilson, and I'm thinking that we'll get more volatility here. Russell Wilson is very likely to pass the ball more often than we saw Justin Fields. This was the second most run-heavy team in the league with Justin Fields under center. So I'm expecting some of those deep gashes, some of those intermediate things, some of the things we've seen from characteristic Russ. I don't think he's going to be that rusher that we saw, that scrambler that we saw from Justin Fields. So to me, when you have a little bit more of that home run capability, it keeps the score a little closer because there's this element of surprise that could potentially come up against this very good defense.
Okay, well, I've got a surprise
on
this show. I'm taking the home team on a Strayvon. Once again, I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers here. As with Greg, I would prefer Justin Fields' start for the purposes of this pick and picking the Steelers. But then I thought about what it took for the Jets to score 20 points against the Bills. It was a Hail Mary. Aaron Rodgers getting sacked 4 times on 7 pressures. There was also Garrett Wilson on a great toe touch in the back of the end zone on 3rd down. A.J. Epinesa and Greg Rousseau get replaced by Alex Highsmith, who's back, and T.J. Watt. I don't necessarily trust this Jets offensive line, and I agree. I think back to another aging wide receiver playing for the Raiders, getting traded to an AFC East team and having a great opportunity. Yeah. I think they could do that. It's just a tough spot against Pittsburgh. I got the Steelers here. So, yeah, the betting public is not expecting a ton of points in this one. Let's take a look at the rest of the lowest over-unders for the week. Right behind the Jets-Steelers is the Titans-Bills, and then the Cleveland Browns find their way on this graphic once again. The over-under sitting there.
Let's go over Patriots-Jags in London. I'm feeling that. Two terrible defenses.
Okay, there's an extra quick pick. It's time to get to some more quick picks. We got the Titans and the Bills. Again, expected to be low scoring. Buffalo traded for wide receiver Amari Cooper on Tuesday. Do they extend their win streak to 2, Cynthia?
They do by 9 points. I have 27-18. Let's talk about what Amari Cooper is, right? He's one of the best route runners, most reliable route runners in the entire NFL. He has a number, 473. That's how many yards that he would have had on errant targets this year as a Brown. Let's call it that. That's a nice way of doing it. There will be less errant targets when he is a Bill. And when you talk about, he's not a burner. He's not going to like Tyreek Hill you, but he's going to be exactly where he needs to be and create the separation that Bills offense needs.
We're all on the Buffalo Bills. Let's go to the Panthers and Commanders. Jaden Daniels' squad came up short last week against the Ravens. Do they bounce back, Greg?
Yes, they do. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, 30-23. Panthers get a lot of points, but Terry McLaurin gets more. Look, the Washington Commanders have a top 3 offense by any metric, and almost their entire passing game is built out of Terry McLaurin. He is getting over 51% of their total air yards is going to this one man. That is the highest percentage on any team to any receiver in the entire league, and it's working. So for all those Terry fans out there that said, like, this guy can be not just a one receiver, but a one receiver dominating a top-tier offense, this has been a beautiful year. He keeps it going against the Panthers.
He deserves it because he's had some guys playing quarterback for him. Let's go to the Rams and Raiders at SoFi. I think Sean McVay's squad gets their second win of the season here, winning it 22-17. That 17 probably only coming via Brock Bowers, who is now the team. Fun Aiden O'Connell fact, he has 0 scrambling yards in his entire career. The Rams running the ball won't be a problem on the other side. The Raiders missed 16 tackles against the Broncos. Saw Najee have the best game of his season last week coming into the game. They're the number 30 rush efficiency defense in the league. Give me Sean and the boys. But yeah, that Aiden O'Connell stat is bananas.
Listen, I would like someone, I'd even take a mansplain of this one. Why is that happening? Somebody tell me. I just need to know.
Keep it going.
You can mansplain it to me. I don't understand it.
Let's see if you can take it your whole career. I want to watch. Kirk Cousins and the Falcons on fire, at least per NBA Jam rules. They've won 3 straight. They got Geno and the streaky Seahawks on Sunday. We'll tell you who's going to win when we come back on Game Day View. Boom shakalaka. Wembley Stadium in London watches Drake May and the Patriots take on Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. Rise, shine, and watch Sunday 9:30 a.m. Eastern only on the NFL Network and NFL Plus subscription required for NFL Plus. It's time for more or less, all hands on hands here as we talk about some player props for the London game. Cynthia, more or less than 204 passing yards for Drake May.
Oh, we're starting with a less?
Oh, boo.
It's not because I think he's going to have a bad game or that I think that somehow the Jags defense is going to get really, considerably better. I just think this game will have fewer possessions. I think they're going to run the ball a little bit more on both sides of it. And I just think 195 is where he lands in my model. So I think that's a little bit less than 204.5.
All right, starting with a less. Greg, Trev, 1.5 passing touchdowns. What do you see?
I am not going double less. Let's go more. Less. Look, this Patriots defense has been the most disappointing aspect to this season. They've lost a lot of key pieces, but even then, undisciplined, guys not really containing their rush lanes, wide open receivers, really by anyone not covered by Christian Gonzalez. Trevor Lawrence, as Patrick mentioned, has played pretty well the last 2 weeks, so I do not think they're going to have trouble moving the ball. Like I said, I like more points in this game than expected.
Yeah, let's get the highest scoring London game of all time. Points traditionally down over there. I'll take the last one. More or less than 54 receiving yards for Brian Thomas Jr., and I think BTJ goes north of that number because, yes, I think the Jags pass catchers will do the second part of that and catch the ball this week. Not like they did against the Bears, and Brian Thomas Jr. having an exciting, probably the most promising thing for the Jags season here in 2024. Folks, don't forget that you can catch that game as well on NFL Plus. Upgrade your Sundays with NFL Plus Premium and watch live, local, and primetime games on mobile devices, plus NFL RedZone, game replays, and more. You can see our show, too. Sign up today at plus.nfl.com. Subscription required for NFL Plus. Terms and conditions apply.
They're going to hand the ball left side. Here's Bijan Robinson. Touchdown, Atlanta. Bijan Robinson on a quick snap. Store standing. Quick toss to Robinson. Left side, Bijan inside the 5. Bangs into the end zone for the Atlanta touchdown.
Time to seize the season, presented by Caesars Sportsbook. As we look at the first touchdown scorer odds, according to Caesars, Kenneth Walker and Bijan at the top, but then Drake London, DK Metcalf, and Darnell Mooney behind them. Looking forward to this one, the battle of the birds. We have a few in the NFL. The Falcons coming into this game, winning 3 straight. On the other side, the Seahawks dropping 3 in a row. Who, I guess, figures out the right side of a streak this time?
I mean, I have a 4-point win for Atlanta in this matchup. You just gave me a thumbs down?
Yeah, I don't like your pick.
Wow.
That's kind of giving away my pick later.
That's passion right there.
I like Geno. You know, there's a lot of reasons.
Okay.
Go
Whatever.
on. Sorry.
When I'm looking at this matchup, I'm looking at Kirk Cousins' ability to connect with Drake London. This has been one area that has been quite consistent. When I'm looking to see, okay, this O-line, the run game, what have they done for Kirk Cousins? Well, when they keep him clean, he really has a great opportunity to connect with Drake London. This is an area where I know that we're talking about some increased health for Seattle's defense, which has been very decimated to injury. If they do get some of those back, it's okay. They will find the mismatches with Drake London somewhere else. End zone for Drake London.
All right, Greg, I guess get your thumb ready because I, too, like the Falcons here. I've seen what the rushing defense of the Seahawks can provide in the last few weeks. The answer is not very much. The Seahawks saw the Niners go for 228 yards and the week before, Tyrone Tracy Jr. had his coming out party. The Giants go for 175 on the ground. Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson both playing good football right now. I fear that the Hawks might be playing catch-up in this one, and the run game keeps Geno on the sideline, Greg. But I think I know your pick here.
Yes,
You're going to pick
look,
Atlanta.
It was nothing personal here, Cynthia, or anything.
Like it.
I'm just sick of this Falcons team. They are the team this season to me. It's like they can't keep getting away with this. How do they win these games where Kirk Cousins doesn't move? They're not going to on Sunday. Let's give it the Just Greg treatment. Seahawks on the road win by a touchdown. Their offense, Geno's going to be so excited throwing a DK Metcalf because finally he gets to face a team that doesn't really get much pressure on him. He can be back there in the pocket with some time, and this is a bit of a squeaky wheel game. Not that DK Metcalf is complaining. It's quite the opposite. He apologized for some mental mistakes he said he made in the last game. He doesn't need to apologize. It's more that I feel the matchup physically against this Falcons secondary, and in a week where he was kind of the main character, everyone's blaming him for a bad week. I think he responds. They get the win, 27-20. And yes, this is not a team in Atlanta that I think really should be winning 4 straight, and it's not a team in Seattle that should be losing 4 straight. So there we go. Just Greg it up.
Falcons Social, please do something about this because you have a good social team. Please do something about this and all these thumbs down.
Give me that aerial, stadium shot.
Okay, yeah, to hype up the fans, get everybody going. So, Greg, I hate this Falcons team. That was Seize the Season, presented by Caesars Sportsbook. Folks, download the Caesars Sportsbook app, an official sponsor of the NFL. New users, place your first bet up to $1,000, and if you lose, you'll get it back as a bonus bet. Use promo code TV1000, must be 21 or older. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Still to come, they're no longer the same old Chargers. Jim Harbaugh's got Herbert and the Bears and the Bolts cooking. They got Kyler and the Cardinals on Monday night. Who's got the edge? We'll tell you right after this break.
It was Jim Harbaugh and the Bears back in the day.
Yeah.
One play at a time. Dominate the man in front of you, man. That's all it's going to take to win this game. Sure. Let's put our best ball on display today. Trish on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Shot downfield. High tip. Intercepted. The Chargers have it.
Way to be in the middle of the field with depth. You got that so casual. I'm like high and tight. High and tight.
Caught by down to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown Chargers.
Hey, you! Hey, you! Great freaking job! What a catch! What a catch!
Feels great to get a win, man. Let's go.
Who's got it better than us?
Nobody. I love that. Shout out to the Cardinals, the Bolts, who take on the Cardinals in the desert. The second of 2 games, Monday night, Herbert versus Kyler. It should be fun. It's the Monday night game, too. Cynthia, what do you see taking place?
Well, I love 2 Monday night games, but I'm taking the Chargers here 23-20. I just want to talk about one trend for Justin Herbert that's really fascinating. Overall, he's thrown the ball 2.86 seconds. It's like 10th fastest. But when he throws it in under 2.5 seconds, things are good. 8 yards per attempt, 5.8 air yards per attempt, both rank number 2 in the league. And by the way, this Arizona defense, they allow 7.3 air yards per attempt. English, not my first language, but then I'm walking into this opportunity here, and I think it's a good one for them to really just, Lad McConkey it up.
Wait, so what is your first language? Math?
Yeah. Math is like the universal language.
Numbers.
Everybody knows numbers.
Okay, so I looked at the numbers too, and I'm with you. Justin Herbert, to me, looked better last week, but you have already talked about him. Let's talk about the side that doesn't get a lot of love. It's the Chargers defense, and they should get more love. They're leading the NFL in points allowed. They have not given up 20 points in a game this season, 20 or fewer each week. So I've got actually the Cardinals right at that number, 23-20. The Chargers win. And look, part of it has been the schedule. They haven't faced the best offenses in the league, but most of it is they're just very technically sound. When you watch them, Jesse Minter's defense does not give up a lot of big plays. Very tough. They're getting production out of players that didn't cost a lot in free agency, like Poona Ford, and they pick up a guy like Elijah Molden, and he's making plays. So I think it's really good coaching. The Chargers, they won't give you anything easy. I think they get the win.
I have the Arizona Cardinals right around that 20 point as well, 21 points. And then I have the Chargers getting 20. I've got the Arizona Cardinals in this game. And how do you get to this Chargers defense? Well, I was watching Bo Nix last week, averaged 10 yards a carry on the ground. And so what's up next? Kyler Murray, the way that this Cardinals defense gives up points is through the explosive plays. They are in the bottom 10 in the NFL in giving up explosive plays. Well, now you're playing a Chargers team that's not really piling explosive plays up. Yeah, J.K. Dobbins can get loose for a couple plays, but it's not like Greg Roman is threatening deep play after play after play. I got the Cardinals winning on a fun Monday night game.
A lot of stray bonds this week.
Yeah.
The dogs are barking.
But they're all home. Like this is a really smart.
There it is.
He's strategic, ladies and gentlemen. He is strategic.
Occasionally, a thought runs through this empty sailboat fuel head of mine. As we get to some more quick picks here on Game Day View, the Eagles and the Giants at MetLife. Saquon's first game against his old team. Malik Neighbors back at practice for the G-Man. Does Saquon get revenge, Cynthia?
I don't know what revenge is. Yeah, he has a really good game. 24-20. The Eagles win this one in a very convincing, as in more convincing than 3 points, fashion. Saquon Barkley's opportunity behind an O-line that ranks no worse than 10th in any computer vision metric when it comes to running. And that is, by the way, kind of double what he had in his best situation as a Giant. It was like 18th, 19th, 20th in those same metrics. So, yes, Saquon, a lot of revenge or just another good game at MetLife because he has the most yards there. Like, this is where he lives. This is his home. You're bringing him home, and he's not going to run all over the place.
The real revenge game is Mekhi Becton, who says he did not enjoy playing in that stadium or that turf when he was a member of the Jets. I just hope the Eagles win this game because no team has less fun when they win games than the Eagles. Like Nick Sirianni's
mad after a win.
Let me be clear.
Never good.
I have anointed myself like the chief cringe officer, and that is heat flag on that play. That was a little cringy.
Yeah.
A little cringy.
Throw the cringe flag.
Yes.
Well, let's get to the Bengals and the Browns, Kevin Stefanski. Sticking with Deshaun Watson. Does that get a win, Greg?
No, but I want to speak about the Browns positively.
Okay.
They're going to cover the point spread at home. They won't win the game, but they're going to cover Bengals 24-20. But they have Mr. Browns. Nick Chubb is back on the field this week.
We love Nick Chubb.
Shout out to Nick.
One of the best running backs of the last 20 years and has had to overcome so much because of this injury. Wrote a beautiful letter on the Players Tribune this week, and I want to believe in a world where Nick Chubb not only has an emotional return, I'm sure he's going to get embraced by the fans like no other, but produces against a bad Bengals rush defense. I'm not Vince, that one game against the Giants means this defense is back. I think the Browns are too big an underdog here. They keep it close because Nick Chubb does amazing things on the field, and he does it on Sunday.
Yes, and he just deserves it. We're rooting for Nick Chubb in this one, but yeah, we're all on the Cincinnati Bengals here as that offense playing some pretty good football. Defense played better last week as well. To the Dolphins and the Colts in Indianapolis, Anthony Richardson expected back at quarterback. Sorry, Flipper, we're all, I at least, like the Colts 18-16 in this one. No. And yes, it is a meme alert. And I'm looking over at a wide receiver. Now, a note on Alec Pierce, did miss practice on Thursday, but playing really good football late in games, especially last week. I'm looking up at Joe Flacco throwing deep targets to Alec Pierce. He's open. They couldn't make the connection going, but time and time again, Alec Pierce is open deep. I think either one of these quarterbacks can hit them. And sometimes Anthony Richardson misses, but when he hits with Pierce, it's good for 6.
Don't forget Achane. Put him in your lineup. He will be in the end zone. Just don't forget. He wasn't there last time, and then they had a bye week, so this could be some fantasy move. Put him in your lineup right now.
Sneaky big game in the AFC because I think one of these teams is going to get their act together down the stretch, and if they win this game, their record is looking just fine despite not really playing their best. So one of these teams, big game.
One of these teams will be better after this game. When we return, I'm making some big-time predictions for Week 7. It's time for Write This Down. Grab a pen, pad, and of course, we're taking some favorite over-unders, player props, and more. You're watching Game Day View, presented by Mercedes-Benz. Election day is coming up, and we all need to be ready to show up big for our country. Make sure you know your state's voter registration deadline as well as requirements. For more resources and information, visit NFL.com/votes. Time now for Write This Down as we get to some predictions for Week 7, as we're glad to have Greg back in the Write This Down game. Give it to the people.
Yes, but I'm going back over to London, at least in terms of my picks. I'm feeling great with this Write This Down.
Leave again.
Drake May is getting over 29.5 rushing yards in this game. Here's how the game is going to go. The Jaguars are going to get quick pressure because they have some very talented pass rushers, and the Patriots' offensive line is one of the worst units in NFL history. Drake May, who's athletic as hell, is going to get out of the way and rush for about, I'm going to go 50, 60 yards. And I'm going to give you a free little Write This Down here. I like the over in this game. They're going over 43 points, whatever it is. Jaguars, Patriots, both these defenses struggling. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. We have a lot of fun in London this week.
Do you usually make people pay for your Write This Downs? Anyways, I'm going to give you both of mine for free. I'm going to add one too. I think Kyren Williams scores a touchdown against the Raiders. This one feels like taking money from a baby or candy from a baby. He's done it now in 8 straight games. I think we now make it 9. And then also in this game, that guy, that tight end, who every time I say he's going to get in the end zone, he doesn't, and then the one week I don't say it, he does. He's on the other end of this matchup. He's a rookie. He went to Georgia. I'm not going to say his name, but he's going to end up in the end zone too. And that one was also for free because all of my Write This Downs are for free.
Yes, mine are all free. Having experience now with multiple children, taking candy from them is a lot more difficult than some people will imagine. But one thing that I don't think is difficult is Jordan Love running for over 7 yards against the Houston Texans. I initially saw the number. It was a little bit different, but then when it comes back to me at 7 yards, I'm thinking, okay, Jordan Love has run the ball 9 times this season. He's gone over 7 yards in 2 of those games. The one game, he didn't run the ball at all. That was in the opener. And then against Brian Flores' team, where he's coming back, playing a little hurt, he only runs the ball 1 time. I think he runs enough to get 7 yards and keep my Write This Down streak going.
I love that one because it can be broken on any play. You just got to stay locked in.
Opportunity.
That's right. You just got to keep watching. Everything's going to be good. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Keep watching us. We'll be back next week. Enjoy Week 7, and we'll see you, and we'll sweep up this confetti. Thanks for watching.
Thumbs up for you. Thumbs down for Greg.